Hello and welcome to Art Studio Nagoya. Today I have another video talking about photo books and talking about a photographer. Today I'm talking about Ken Domon, or in Japanese will be Domon Ken, which is a classic Japanese photographer already, and I have to say is one of my favorite photographers. And I covered before a video about Kimura Ihei, and Kimura Ihei and Ken Domon will be two of the main photographers that will really shape the scene of photography in Japan after. So with this video I will cover the other big name that really creates the base of the photography that we have nowadays here in Japan. I just gonna give you some information that I found in internet. You can find it too. Like he was born in Yamagata Prefecture in the 25th of October of 1909, and he dies the 15th of September of 1990 in Tokyo. At the end of his life, he basically have like a little bit of bad health, so he couldn't take so many photographs little by little. But he was very productive and really interesting photographer. He covered a lot of different type of photography, but he was like one of the initiators of a photography in Japan that will go away from the art photography, if you want, and also the pictorialism and all kind of old school photography, and he will focus more in documentary photography, if you want something that is more direct with the subject. And he was like kind of a defender, like he was like advocating for that kind of photography in Japan. And I think most of the photography that we have nowadays have to do with his theory of or way of understanding photography. In that regard also, he is a photographer who uses a photography that is a little bit less clean than Kimura Ihei, in my opinion. It's like more contrasty, more moody, and I think also that reflects in later photographers in Japan, black and white photography. And well, he have also like a big award that was given after his name, the Ken Domon Show. So it's held every year, and if you get that award, like it's a big recognition in Japan. So I do have 3 books about his work, or in relationship of his work, and I think it's interesting because they cover a big range of the photography that Ken Domon did. There is a museum, by the way, in Yamagata Prefecture of his photography. Was made out after his death, I think. So the first book I have here is this one. I think, well, here Kodomotachi, and this probably is the village where these kids were photographed. So Kodomotachi means kids, and I cannot read the kanji, but I'm pretty sure it's the mine, because mine village where he went to take these pictures. And this book is kind of a little bit early in his life compared with other books, and he went to this village and depict basically the life of these kids. And this is a mine, coal mine village, so kind of a little bit difficult conditions. There is a lot of a little bit poor kind of so the difficult social conditions that he will address, and this reflects in his kind of political interest, because he was really a photographer who take care of the social aspect of Japanese society and so on. And this book is really taken with a 35mm camera, and you have a lot of mood. Is really good. This copy of the book actually is a present from Rainroot Studio, Rainroot Lab, that is in Mizuho right now, and is the lab that I used to go to process my film here in Nagoya. I had a video when I mentioned this lab, and the owner presented me this book, and it was a really good present. After that, the next book I have is this one. That is Ken Domon taking pictures in a temple. That's something that he did a lot, especially at the end of his life. He covered a lot of different temples, and this is in a temple called Muroji, and all the book is about photographies taken in Muroji and around Muroji. And as you can see here in the cover, he's using a large format camera already, and it's all other kind of photography. And this is Ken Domon engaging with their cultural past of Japan, put it in value too, because nowadays I think it's very common to see photos even in Instagram and so on of temples of Japan. But I think when he was taking these photographies, there was another connotation. Like after the war, I think some of these things got a little bit obscure. And I think he was trying to reveal to Japanese again the beauty of temples and traditional Japan. I think you have to understand that in Showa period there was like this rush or this interest in Western culture. All American culture was great. So I think the Japanese people of that time they start to feel that they have to promote or remind their Japanese that they have beautiful heritage and temples and so on. And I think in that line, Ken Domon is doing the work, and it's really interesting also how he documents the temple, because it's not that straightforward. I think there's a lot of his personality in the way he documents it. This third book that I have here is a book dedicated to portraits. I think this is a book that is a compilation of portraits. I don't think maybe this was meant to be a book like this when Ken Domon was alive. I think this is a compilation of portraits that he took of famous people, and most of them they are writers and philosophers and painters and all kind of famous people, but many of them they were famous because they were artists. So this is again Ken Domon engaging with the cultural life of Japan, but the contemporary life of Japan, documenting essential names of contemporary culture this time. So I think the next thing we have to do, this is like a kind of an introduction, so you get an idea of Ken Domon and where you can find the books. Probably, I think here in Japan you can buy these 3 books, and there is a 4th one that is kind of a mix of these books too, like a compilation of general photography of Ken Domon. I think these 3 books can be found in a normal store, like a bookstore here in Japan. Not even a specialized. Most of the books of photography you have to buy it in a specialized bookstore, but these ones are really popular. You can buy it here in Nagoya in Takashimaya's shop. They have like a portion of the library or bookstore dedicated to photography, and there I saw these 3 books. So very easy to find here in Japan, books about Ken Domon. So I think next, let's get a close look of the books. Okay, so now let's take a closer look to the books. This is the book that I told you before. It's called Kodomotachi, blah 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 blah, no Kodomotachi, so probably the kids of blah 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 village. My copy have this cover. This is very interesting. I tell you, it's a present. So what Ken Domon is gonna do first, and he do this in the book about the temples too, is instead of going directly to show you pictures of the kids, which I think is the main subject, he first go around and give you photos of the context of the village. Of course, there is reading here. This is the name of Ken Domon written in Japanese. This is Domon and this is Ken, the kanjis. Okay. Okay, so here you go. You can see right away like these handheld photos, and very contrasty. Yeah, very moody. And this is, I think, the mine. Probably this is the entrance to the mine. Yeah, all the things, and it's divided by chapters. Okay, we're like 10 pages in, and this is the first time you start to see humans in the photos, but they're adults still. Entrance of the mine, giving context, and then it's up to chapter 3 that you start to see kids in the photos. And while you see the conditions, living conditions are not great, but you have also like photos that talking about relationship with the family and so on. I think this photo is amazing. Is brutal, and yeah, well, photos of kids, yeah, enjoying kind of an, I don't know what is this, like a spectacle or something. Like it's a guy who probably goes from village to village, so in this kind of show to them. Here's another taken of the same photo. Then the mine again, the mountain, and you see kids working here. This is where you see the social aspect too. This is maybe too clear. I think this is obvious. Not the hands is like really destroyed, and you can see the hand of a kid. And yeah, how they go back, the work that they have to do, the adults working with the kids, moms in the village, kids at home. This photo, I think, if they found a kid doing this nowadays, they will put parents into jail. Yeah, you know, like so close to the face. But different time. It's good to see it also from nowadays perspective, how they used to live, kids in the past. I'm curious. For me, it's interesting to see that this is like really long time ago, and they already reading manga at home. They're studying. This is so cute. And yeah, they're sitting perfectly in seiza, eating with the chopsticks and so on. Mom checking. Small kids reading manga. Big kids are studying already. And then this beautiful portrait, you can see like it's really like the dominance of black is really contrasty photography, very moody. There is a lot of fogs, even the grain is pretty visible, but they're amazing portraits, and the kids feels very natural. Yeah, houses inside giving context again, more portraits of kids and kids doing their job, lighting a candle. This beautiful portrait, you can see hands so dirty here of the girl, but she looks so cute and nice. This is interesting also, like in Japan, even now they eat and they have the break in their classes. And here you can see them, they're having lunch at the same time they're reading magazine because they're having the lunch break. So probably these kids already finished so they can read. And these kind of teapots, they're still using it nowadays, the same ones, reading manga. This photo I think is so beautiful and looks so modern. This other photo is also great, and the tonality, I can only imagine how good the real prints of these photographies may be. Yeah, great photos, group photos, composition really good. They have like working the scene already. I don't know why they're dressing these clothes. They're maybe in the nursery house or something. I have kind of the same picture of my kid. This is a typical photo. You have these kind of beds with the bars so the kids cannot fall down, and through the bars you will try to get the eyes and take a picture. I think every father have one of these photos, but I mean that's not his kid. One more context, a lot of grain, like smoke, political activities in the village. and so on. Well, I think here the text is very important, but we cannot understand the text. But yeah, they look like strikes and things like that. So there is a political connotation in this book, and it's a fantastic book. Here is Ken Domon taking pictures. You can see that this is probably a 35mm camera that he's using here. This is the book. Let's go to the next one. Put this aside. Let's go to the temple, Muroji. So again, starting is giving you context. This around the temple. There is a carving here. I don't know if you notice. Obviously, long exposure. You can see the water. Sakura tree, cherry blossom. This is a carving that we saw before. It's like an image of Buddha carved in the wall, in the cliff. Like really big. Here you can see it, details. The river. So again, we're in page, I don't know, 12, and we haven't seen an image of the temple yet. Basically, close to the river, photography. You see first human here. It's fishing, and there we start seeing the grounds of Muroji. Kind of the bridge from far away, crossing the bridge of the entrance, the bridge from another angle. This again is with cherry trees in blossom, the big forest around there, the stairs going up one of the buildings. Start to describe the buildings, details of the buildings, more details. Now you're looking up, down, from the windows outside, so everything that catches his interest, he's reacting to that. He used to spend several days in the temple before start photography, so he get familiar with the things that he wants to photograph. And in this temple there is a collection. Usually there is collections of very important statues